Hi, I'm Ed, and today I'm going to go ahead and show a camping sink that we ended up coming up with. There's lots of different Pinterest and all kinds of the YouTube videos and stuff like that shows this, but I want to go ahead and show this particular design and some tweaks we made from what we found, and show how it works and how to put yours together. All right, so what this is here, this is a camp sink we came up with. Based off of a couple other videos. So basically we're using two buckets. The bottom one is a freshwater bucket, and then I come out with a little nozzle that's usually used at the bottom of a swamp cooler. Come out with PVC, and it goes to a little adapter using 1/2 inch tubing. It goes to a standard little pump here. These are usually used for like moving gas and stuff like that, but this is perfect for water. Put a little tennis ball on the back side here, and then it's just a little foot pedal operation. It brings it all the way up here to the top. It's a little PVC, just use a couple angles. And then I put so I have the actual blue tube running all the way through here. And at the very, very tip, I put in a little 3D printed little nozzle to kind of reduce the pressure. To increase the pressure, so that way it comes out as a more of a jet onto your hands instead of a big old spurt of just a large amount of water. Small little cut onto this right here. And so what this is this is the sink side, and then there's gray water side. So this is after washing the hands. So this is basically it's a cut off from a lid, and then I got a little grate from Walmart, and then also 3D printed a little soap container here. So it just sits right here, and then I just attach some towels to the side, and the kids can wash their hands without having to go into the camper and everything and getting everything all dirty. I'll go ahead and show you how to set it up now. So when it's all packed up and everything, it's very compact. So it just looks like there's a small little stack of buckets here. So I got one lid here. Set that to the side. This is my sink mechanism. So I have this one. I actually have a small little PVC tube on here, so it kind of holds the other tube in place. Still got that same notch, little sink mechanism here. So again, this is just a cut off of another lid. So by cutting very carefully along this line right here, so that way it cuts right in these grooves all the way around, and then just basically slide it into this bucket right here. Take another bucket, cut it along the edge, and then slide that in, and then just a silicone clear seal. Gotta probably use a couple screws and we'll be able to hold it in place, and then once the silicone sets, then you can take the screws out, and that way it makes it all stackable and neat. So this is my gray bucket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slide this guy out. So you see the nozzle and everything down at the bottom for the fresh. So what I'm going to do here is I can go ahead and take the lid. Usually what I'll do at this point is I'll go ahead and fill this with water. And then I'll go ahead and take my lid and I'll seal it. Now if you have lids that have these types of seals and whatnot, these are perfect. But what you want to do is take the cap and just barely put it on there, because you want to be able to let the air go back into it, or it's going to form a vacuum. It's a royal pain to use. Okay, so then I'm going to take my gray bucket, put it up on top. Now the rest of this is all stuff that has to be set up as well. So here is my pump. This one I actually painted, so I kind of try and seal from some of the water leakage when it does occur. Come on.
Come on, baby.
All right. So then set this down here. I'll open this up. So then I have my hoses here. So this one I'm going to go ahead and thread down through thread through the holder if you have one, or if it want to be a little bit easier, just use a bungee cord. Just to hold it in place. But to see the leverage of the notch on the top of the bucket here, it keeps it from wanting to spin too much, because if it spins off to the side and it's a pain to use, then the users aren't going to want to wash their hands. This has the same little 3D printed little nozzle on here as well. So once I get this set, then I can go ahead and route it down through here. You don't have to do this, but it's just a little bit more tidy. All right. So then, where'd my pump go? Here's my pump. Get all the junk out of here. All right. So from here, it's going to go ahead and hook up, make sure you have the your line pointed the correct way, so that way the line's pulling from the tank and going up. And then I just cut off the existing tube that was already on here, and then just slid on the this half-inch tubing. This is actually 3/8 tubing that's originally on these types of pumps, and then this is a half-inch tubing. So just a little bit of baby oil on the outside, then just slide it right on, and then it makes a pretty good seal on here. I don't necessarily have to tighten it down, but do the same thing on this side. This is a little bit more of a pain, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get some quick disconnect connectors from usplastics.com. So that way I can just leave this attached right here and then just do a quick disconnect right here from the pump. And then this guy, I'm just going to go ahead and slide this guy on. And then get this guy situated. So this is why I want to have the disconnect, so that way once I have this set, I can just go ahead and clamp this on and then just leave it, right? I'll go ahead and get a screwdriver and I'll go ahead and tighten this down. So then from here, it's just a matter of taking this, put it in here, and put the bulb in there, and then we're ready to go. So then just a couple pumps, and then we're off to this. I only had one 3D printed one, so I have it on the other one. I'll go ahead and slide it over, but this is the 3D print was I'll make those available online as well, just to be able to hold the standard soap dispensers right here. And that's it. Okay, so just a minor tweak to this. I put in the US Plastics quick disconnects right here, and then what I also did was I sealed the pump. So these are small little plastic rings, and then you have the actual inlet into the tube right here. So what I did was I took it apart and then slid this back and then put some clear silicone on the part that goes inside here just at the edge. Shoved it back in there and then slid the outside covering with more silicone on there. So now it makes a lot better of a seal, and so it doesn't leak nearly as bad. And then the quick disconnect makes it really easy for when we're going to get ready to leave, because you just hit this button right here, and then the only water that comes out is what's in the tube right here. So you don't dump all the water that's in the tank. Still have to dump that out, obviously, but makes it to where it doesn't just shoot water just everywhere. So as far as the other part of this, I also took a larger piece of PVC tube and then cut a small notch on the back side, and also shortened the stock on this. The reason why is so that way I can go ahead and pick this up and I can slide it out, and then just the tube just kind of comes out. But when it's in the PVC in here and it holds it strictly in place, then I also added a 90 right here, so that way it makes it a lot easier. So it raises it up just a little bit, so that way it's a little bit easier to get the water onto your hands, so you don't have to struggle nearly as much, but it's still stabilized to where it's not going to spin around and all that. So this is probably going to work out a little bit better for the next trip. So a camp sink like this is rather perfect for camping in rural places, or a place in the middle of nowhere like this. This is out here. Happy campers! This is actually over here near Ballarat. So got the canyons and everything here nearby, and the kids are all playing and everything like that. So in environments like this, you want to conserve as much water as possible. These little camp wash stations are perfect. Okay, so this is a camp sink using standard buckets. So if you have access to these, obviously you can get some slightly smaller ones from Home Depot, but these are perfect for camp sinks and everything. If this was helpful at all, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, and happy camping.